Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are building the rotary for our laser, and we're just going to play with it a bit, fix some problems we find when we put this on there to try it out.
A little backwards.
A little backwards. We'll also take you through the Lightburn settings, the process we went through with that.
All right, here we go. All right. So here is the rotary piece. All right. For the laser. So we are going to have to build a platform to get this up higher, but let's put this together so we have a better idea of how high we need it to be. We've got a helper today. Awesome, awesome. So Rory, this is what we're gonna build. You down? You ready? Okay, he's ready. Alright, so this one, unlike the regular laser, came with full instructions. You can see here, it's got instructions for setting it up in the software, as well as, just some diagrams on what you're going to need to do to get it tall enough. So, let's pull it out of the box and see what we need tool-wise. See what we're gonna need. Comes with a wrench just like the other laser did, and it looks like we're gonna need a screwdriver. Do you know what that one is? No. Phillips head. Alright, but we're gonna need a Phillips head. It came with Allen wrenches we're gonna need, and the wrench we'll need. So I'm gonna go grab those tools and then we will start putting it together. Alright, grabbed the Phillips head and we've taken everything out, and looks like the instructions are gonna be pretty easy to follow. So we will just grab our first piece and start putting it together. Alright, so it looks like they want you to face the motor out, so that like this for the plug-in. So the plug-in will be on the side. Just wanted to make sure we know where everything is going, so we don't. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure we don't get the wires in the wrong spot later on down the road. Alright, these screws are very small and I don't want to strip them out, so I'm going to get a smaller screwdriver. Alright, little tweaker screwdriver. This will be easier to use to actually get them tight. So now we need 2 of the lock nuts. Looks like there are only 2. 2 regular nuts, 2 spacers, looks like 4 of the bearings. And we use the longer M5 screws. So it goes bearings like this, where the ledge is on the outside. That way later when we put the belt in, the belt will be able to run in that. Probably this way. Alright, so locking nut. Super easy to put on there. Alright, the wrench, too big. So get your own out. It's 8 metric. That way you can get it done. Alright, both bearings on. Alright, the 2 spots we are going in are going to be the slotted one and this one. Let me go in on this side. So washer first, and then another one of the M5 nuts. And then this will adjust the tension later on the belt. Next step, we are going to put the main rail on between the two sides. As far as the plate go, just match the sides with the two holes in it, and get it going. And then there's only one spot that this fits. It's two M5 screws. Now there's the base of our rotary roller, and we're going to move this out of the way. We're going to grab the rollers and we're going to get those prepped. So bearings and roller holders. Alright, so put a bearing on both sides. These pair up on the same side of them. Gonna let those hang for a second on the short side. Have a different one. Now both of them are going to be different because one is going to mount right here and the other one can be adjusted across these. So we'll get these first and then we'll move on to the other one. We need the timing belt pulleys, teeth. So these go on the longer ends on both sides and just going to be tightened up with the Allen wrench. Now I'm just going to have these a little bit loose right now to make sure they're lined up with where they need to be on the belt a little bit later. And now they can spin because of that bearing, so the rotation will work perfect. We're going to put the one with the double on first. So we will get this one back on. It slides in between. And it's going to be more of the M5s and the nuts on the other side. So it'll be 4, 2 on each side. The second side is actually adjustable. It can go in different ones depending on how big the material you're using is. We're just going to get it in one of them and then we can adjust it later. Let's go fairly close to start. So I'm going to prep these with fairly loose nuts on them so we can just drop it in each spot. Alright, now with it loose, we should be able to just slide it down in. Alright. Next step is going to be the timing belt pulley for the front, and then we can get the timing belt on. Pull it, it's the only one left, and slides right on perfect. So the diagram has it going under all the way across the bottom, on top, down, and then up on top again. So it slides on real easily. This one right here, you slide down to get tension on it. So gonna slide it down and get it tight into place. Now if you look from the side, you can see how the belts are not lined up. So I'm going to make adjustments on those to get the belt as straight as I can. You can see now, just adjusting the main one on the motor, got that all pretty well in line. There's a little bit of play in each side, and getting that one where you need to have. It should fix it all. Now when you turn one, they all turn. So the motor will control it all now. So that is the main part all together. There's a couple other pieces. This is a roller baffle. It's going to go right here on the front. Keep things from going too far forward. And it's just these, and it is threaded. So it's just the two little screws that you have left, and you can put it in here. Now this is also going to be able to move depending on material that you have in here. Alright, so for the back side, this is guide wheels and a lifting plate. So if the material you have isn't straight, you would use this, and you can slide it up and down so that you can level out your material, and then it'll roll flat when you're cutting. So these are 2 thumb screws and a little spacer. And then it is these little holes here, and they are all threaded. Alright, so you just screw those in hand tight, and we will get the wheels up on the top. So it looks like we've got the perfect parts left, 2 of each. So this is going to go screw, locking washer, then through, and the nut on the back. So here is the cable. You can see the lines on the front that correspond with where it plugs in, and it snaps right in. Don't plug it in backwards, don't force it in, you could break those little pieces. And that is it all together. So here's what a glass looks like on it. And as you can see right here, it's got a very bad angle on it. So if you were trying to cut up here, it would be warped. That is where this piece comes in. And then you can figure out exactly where that's going to set pretty level on where you're cutting. That's how it goes together. So now let's take it over to the laser and see how it works with that. Okay guys, so we are here in Lightburn, and I'm going to get the rotary set up. So we go to Tools, and come down to Rotary Setup, and we can come in here, you'll see Chuck a rotary. We are using the rotary. We are going to enable the rotary, and then we need to set axis, so we're going to go with Y axis, and we need to change our rotations, our roller diameters, object diameters, circumference. So these are going to be 0. Our rotary diameter is going to be 20, and rotation is 40.21. Now I have pulled these settings from forums. I dug a lot, and this is what I'm going to start with, and we're going to see how it works. So let's take a look. Alright, so before I lift up the machine, what we do is we actually pull out the motor cable, and we are going to put in the jumper. So we slide those in. Now, back on the computer, I'm going to hit test. Alright, so we have the rotary set up. I'm going to go grab just some blocks or cans or something, get the laser lifted up, and then we will see what we can do. Alright, so now we've got the laser sitting on some pinto cans, some pinto beans. This is temporary. I do have a friend doing some 3D prints for me and gonna put it on a permanent little platform for the laser with the standoffs so that I can adjust it as needed. Tried a few different things here. The only thing that worked was actually inverting it in Lightburn itself. So, and how that's actually done, right there you see that I did it. You just select what you had and hit V, and it inverts it. And then there's that final cut. You can also tell that the cylinder we're cutting here is not perfectly round. It was just a cutoff that I had after turning something, and just warped a little bit on the writing because it's not perfectly round. It's just a test cut, so it's okay. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that is how the rotary works. Fairly simple, great instructions from them on that. The wrench was about the only thing that didn't work out well. It was just too big and was slipping. So, I mean, everything else was great. No real instructions anywhere for Lightburn, so I dug around on forums, which is why I wanted to add them into the video, just in case you guys wanted to see it there. So, do have a couple of other, like I said, a friend doing some 3D printing for me so that we can do some upgrades on it, maybe some upgrades on the rotary, just for how it holds things a little bit better. They can slide around right now, and that's not good. And then get some air assist added in.
Yes.
And then we'll be off.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
And on this outro, you can hear from our sponsor.
I want you to subscribe.